level and multi-stakeholder partnership to gain the traction needed to attain SDG in Nigeria. As I often remark, no single agency of government or no government alone can attain SDG by its own, either by effort or by financial resources. Therefore, synergies must be built with and across diverse stakeholders, such as the ministries, departments, and agencies of government, the sub-national government, the parliament, civil society organization, international development partners, the private sector, and other stakeholders for us to achieve SDG in Nigeria. The SDG declaration, therefore, adopted by the head of government of United Nations member states, recognizes potential drawbacks to SDGs implementation and outlines that requires for the attainment of the global goals. We've just spoken about the global goals that have 17 goals, 169 indicators, and 29 targets. The SDG declaration underscores the need to support national efforts to address the drawbacks, including capacity deficit, in the drive to strengthening the means of implementation of SDG. Target 17.9 of SDG call for effective and targeted capacity building in developing countries like ours to support national plans to implement all the sustainable development goals, that is the 17 goals. Addressing this capacity gap, which part of the systemic failure, require that we adopt an integrated approach if we must achieve SDG in Nigeria. It is worthy of note that the collaboration between the SDGs Office, Abuja, and the numbers of development partners has yielded remarkable results. We have adopted and developed a country transition strategy to the SDG and an action plan to operationalize the documents in partnership with the UNDP and DFID. The MDG endpoint report, which was produced in collaboration with the same partners in 2015 when we are adopting SDG as a country. We have also conducted SDG data mapping and determined baseline SDG indicators for Nigeria with the support of UNDP, National Bureau of Statistics, stakeholders, and private sector. The UN Habitat previously collaborated with the SDG Office to deploy youth empowerment initiatives. We have had similar partnership engagement in the past also with the World Food Programme, as well as UNFPA, UNICEF, UN Women, and a host of other donors. We also started the collaboration and advocacy using the core members from National Youth Service Corps to ensure that we have all our core members in all the local government in Nigeria, 774 local government, accredited local government by the Constitution of Nigeria, meaning that we have the core member as a representative of the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on SDG to oversee and to do my ward survey to ask people of their contribution, of their needs, and their involvement in SDG in all the 774 local government. These youth core members are known as SDG core members, so that they will then be our eyes and nose and representative, reporting directly to our office and to report directly also to the focal persons in each state of the Federation, where we have the government appointed focal persons, so they can report directly to the focal person in each of the 36 states and FCT, as well as reporting to us in my office. We are at this moment conducting SDG need assessment and the costing exercise, as we're making effort to mainstream and integrate SDG at the national and at the subnational level, in collaboration also with the UNDP. The UN country director and UN country team also supported the participation and preparation of Nigeria National Voluntary Report that we just presented at New York about 2 weeks ago at the high-level political forum in preparation for the General Assembly. Apart from the partnership with this SDG office, we recognize and appreciate many donor work with diverse stakeholders across the nation. This will accelerate the attainment of SDG in Nigeria. There is now a need for us to scale efforts. We need to scale up our efforts, targeted at building better linkages so as to deliver the SDG in Nigeria. The successful implementation of the global goal requires that the government work with international development partners to learn and harness the competencies and vast resources available with our donor partnerships and their spheres of influence in their various domains. This will enable Nigeria to benefit from a broad area of international action where development partners participate, including resource mobilization, capacity building, technology development and transfer, policy formulation, mainstreaming, as well as facilitation of multi-stakeholder partnership such as South-South and North-South triangular cooperation. Effective engagement with the donor community will therefore enhance efficiency of resources to also curb project duplication, both at the federal and at the state level, where the same project is being implemented at the national and subnational level, and foster aid effectiveness. It will also enhance policy coherence with an attendant alignment of donor intervention with government medium-term and long-term development plan, which the DG budget, our brother, Pastor Dr. Ben Akabese just enumerated now, as well as the National Economic Recovery and Growth Plan of the Federal Government of Nigeria for 2017 to 2020. Partnership with donor agencies, therefore, will be useful as we make effort to integrate SDG into our national and subnational development plan to mainstream SDG across our country called Nigeria. As we are all aware, we have established a donors forum where all the UNs are mobilized and inaugurated by the Vice President, who is now the acting president of Nigeria, early this year, and I'm sure our brother was also at that meeting, and the UNDP has volunteered to be the anchor secretariat to support the program. The action plan has been completed, the framework has been completed to drive the donor partnership forum for Nigeria in our anticipation, our efforts, and our strive to implement SDG in Nigeria. The role of the private sector is really important for the successful implementation of SDG in our country. The private sector creates jobs, generates tax, generate tax